Hey food lovers, it's your boy Knox and welcome to my kitchen. Today I've got a great banana muffin recipe for you. Actually, wholemeal muffin recipe. And I'm going to top this up with some walnuts, some pistachio, some almonds. So this is actually quite easy to make and let's get started. To begin with, I've got my oven preheating at about 170 degrees centigrade, and I'm going to start making my dry ingredient and thereafter start making my wet ingredient and basically combine these to make my banana muffin batter. So for this, I'll be using 1.5 cups of wholemeal plain flour. And a teaspoon of bi-carb soda. And a teaspoon of baking powder. Following this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So that's all my dry ingredients there. So I'm just going to sift this through. So usually I'll be adding salt to my recipe, but just because I'm using salted butter today, I won't be adding any salt. So if you've got unsalted butter, you can add a teaspoon to your baking. So I'm just going to sift the dry ingredient here just to get rid of any lumps and also just to air out my flour. Also, just to mention, I'm using wholemeal plain flour here. If you've got normal plain flour, you can use that. The reason why I'm using wholemeal is because I want that extra fiber to my muffin. So basically feel free to use plain flour if you've got that. So I've got that all sifted. I'm just going to use the whisk and just to combine the mixture. So that's my dry ingredient ready. So I'm gonna start making my wet ingredient, and I've got 3 large bananas. So with banana muffins or banana cakes or any baking that has to do with banana, the riper the bananas, the better. So if you've got overly ripe bananas, do not throw them away. They're the perfect ingredient for baking. So I'm basically gonna start by putting my bananas in a large bowl. So these aren't as ripe as I want them to be, but they're still good for baking as well. So the longer you leave it to ripen, the better. It's best when it's basically black. So when you've got like a really dark black bananas, so that's when you know it's actually perfect for baking. So I've got my bananas in there. I'm gonna get a potato mash. You can use a fork if you've got that, and basically just mash my bananas. So you want to mash your banana till it's got a thick, runny consistency. And the next thing I'll be doing will be to add my sugar. So I'll be adding 1/3 cup of sugar. So bananas are quite sweet, especially when they're really ripe. So you don't want to add too much sugar. So it's up to you depending on how sweet you want your muffins to be. But I really think 1/3 cup is the right amount of sugar for your muffin. So I'm just gonna add that. Just give that a mix as well. And the next step will be to add my butter. So I've got about 80 grams of melted butter in here. So I'm just gonna pour that in. Give that a mix. And then I'll be adding 2 whole eggs. Just crack that in. Finally, I'll be adding about a teaspoon of vanilla essence. And just make sure all my ingredients is well incorporated. All right, I've got my wet ingredient and my dry ingredient, and I'm just gonna combine both of them together. All right, so I'm gonna move that to the side and then get my muffin tin. So what I'll be doing now would be just to use the leftover melted butter and basically just grease the tin with the butter. All right, so I've got my pan all greased up. So what I'm gonna do next would be to scoop my batter into my muffin pan. All right, I've got the last bit of my ingredient ready to go. I've got my almonds, my pistachio, and my walnuts all chopped up. And what I'll be doing would be to just get a teaspoon, just scoop that in there. So I've got my toppings all there. I've got my walnuts, my almonds, and my pistachio. Alright, so these are ready to go, and I'm going to place it in the oven to let it bake for about 20 minutes at 170 degrees centigrade. I will know when this is ready by placing a bamboo skewer into my muffin. If it comes out clean, this is an indication that it's fully cooked. Alright, so these are my banana wholemeal muffins and it smells delicious. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to move that to a cooling rack and just let it cool for roughly about 15 to 20 minutes. But knowing me, knowing how delicious they smell, I don't think I can wait for 15 minutes. So this is what my banana muffin looks like on the inside. As you can see, it's soft and it's also delicious. This is a relatively healthy snack that you can have for breakfast, morning tea, afternoon tea. It's very easy to make and you should definitely give it a go. Alright guys, so that's it for me today. Please give this recipe a go and let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like, subscribe and click the notification button to get updated on every single video I upload. Once again, thank you. See you later.